How's it going, guys? This is 802MC. This is my second video, and this video is about the basics of learning on a motorcycle. And let's get right into it. So the first thing you need to know is how to start your bike. Turn the bike on with the key. Make sure you're in neutral. And when the bike's on and you're in neutral, crank it. Starts up. Give your bike a quick inspection. Front brakes. Make sure you have pads. Make sure your tires are good. Make sure you have front brake fluid. Make sure you have rear brake fluid. Make sure you have rear brake pads. Make sure your rear tire's good. Check your coolant level if your bike's water cooled. And obviously, you need gas in the tank, or else you won't get very far. And you will need some more gas than when you get into riding routinely. So this is your first time on a motorcycle, remember that. This is your shift lever. This is your rear brake lever. This is your front brake. This is the most important lever you need to focus on, the clutch. I'll explain that. This is your throttle. Some throttles don't have a bar end on them. So make sure that this isn't sticky. And if you have a bar end, make sure you wrap your pinky around the bar end when you're starting out, so you don't give it too much gas. But other than that, make sure there's no cars around. Make sure you have an open area, such as a parking lot. Let's get right into it. Getting on a bike, always get on from the side the bike is leaning towards. Grab the bar, grab this bar, swing your leg over the bike. Pick it up, square it up. Pick your stand up. You're in neutral. You're not going anywhere until you put it in first gear. So the gearing on a motorcycle is sequential, and neutral is located between first and second gear. So the general rule is 1 down and 4, 5, or 6 up. So to get into first from neutral, I'm going to hold the clutch in just to show you. Here is all you do. First gear. Now, to get to second gear, you shift up through neutral into second. I'll go back. Slightly down into neutral. All the way down. Make sure you hold your clutch in. First gear, second gear, and flick it up from then on. For how many other gears you have. You're probably not going to leave first gear when you're starting out. So let's begin. What you need to understand is the clutch lever, because the clutch is the most important skill to balance with your motorcycle riding. So the clutch is disengaged when you hold it in like this. The clutch is engaged when you let it out like that. So disengaging the clutch, what is happening when you pull the clutch in is you're separating the flywheel on the motor from the clutch on the transmission. So the motor is spinning right now, and the transmission is not. Well, actually, my mistake. Technically we're in neutral, and technically the clutch is engaged. So the motor and the transmission are engaged, and they're working together at this moment. But the input shaft in the transmission is spinning, and the output shaft isn't spinning because this is neutral. So, first gear, you can see there. Some bikes you can't see there. Some you just got to pay attention to make sure you're not in neutral and that you hit it downward. Clutch is engaged or disengaged right now. So, what happens if you let the clutch out too quickly? What happens if you let the clutch out too quickly and you're in traffic? Well, make sure your stand's up, grab the clutch, start your bike right back up. I've frozen up in traffic before, dropped my stand, flipped it into neutral. All the while cars were honking at me, and it was not fun. So, to begin, all you have to do is make sure you're in first gear and let the clutch out slowly. And there will be a zone when your bike will actually start to move. And the bike is propelling itself now. I'm not feeding it any throttle. So, ride it around, get a feel for it, and at this speed, you shouldn't need to use this brake. You should only be using this brake. So, when you come to a stop, every time, pull the clutch in. Because if your engine is engaged to your transmission, when your rear tire is not moving, your engine will not move. Your engine can continue to move as long as it's disengaged from the transmission right here. So, I'll show you what happens if you forget to clutch in, which is pull the clutch lever in, and you come to a stop. Not fun. Clutch in, make sure your stand's up, start your bike back up again. Let's give it another try. So, at this point, you may be comfortable enough to give it a little tiny bit of gas as you start off. So, don't give it too much gas because that'll be dangerous. Little tiny bits of gas. Millimeters of throttle at the same time that you let the clutch out. Just like that. It can take a while to get that same rhythm between the throttle and the clutch. So, don't expect this to happen right away. It takes practice. It takes countless amounts of stalling your bike. You're going to stall it. I can guarantee you're going to stall it. I can't guarantee that you're going to drop it. But I can guarantee you'll stall it. So pull the clutch in. When you come to a stop, I'm going to teach you how to shift second and third gear in this parking lot. We're not going to be going too fast, so no need for fourth gear. Little tiny bit of throttle. And as you're riding along, you're going to want to hold your clutch, and you're going to want to pull your clutch in. At the same time, you're going to want to pull your lever up, and now you're in second gear. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ride up here and turn around, and I'll do the same thing going in the third gear. So this time I'll focus on the lever. Clutch is in, lever up, clutch is out. You're in third gear. That's all you need to know for now. Now when you're clutching down, shifting up into first gear from second gear, Most people do this from a stop, but there's no harm in doing it while you're moving. Pull your clutch in, push it down, let your clutch out, you're in first gear. Now we're going pretty slow. So at a normal speed, pull your clutch in, pick your shifter up, let your clutch out, second gear. They really need to make a song or some kind of tune for shifting gears. I'm not that creative, so clutch in, shift up, clutch out. Now we're going to shift down in a second. I'm going to sit back a bit so you guys can see this better. We're going to shift into first. And now we're going to come to a stop. So, just a quick recap on everything. Not too much throttle when you start. Never hit your brakes without pulling the clutch in. And if you come to a stop and you stall it, or if you're leaving a stop and you stall it, make sure your stand is up, make sure you're in first gear, start the bike back up. That'll lead to quick learning, less time grieving over a stall. But I'm going to show you guys one more time the proper way to get on the bike, make sure it's running. I'll start it up for you again. So, keys on, neutral, stands down, start the bike, legs over, pick it up, square up. I usually grab the front brake, stand goes up, hold the clutch in, drop it down into first gear, let the clutch out as you give it a little tiny bit of throttle. And feel free to shift gears. Alright you guys, thanks for watching. I've been meaning to make a video like this for a while now, and I'm glad I got around to making it. So, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And if you like the video, just drop a like for me. And let me know what you think.